Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi. How are ya? So, I'm gonna start this live stream off here in my bed before we move things forward. Oh, so this is there we go. So I'm using for today's live stream, or for anybody who's watching this later in the day, because this is technically a video, but I'm doing it live. But I am using Trend Mood's illegal filter for this live stream because I don't want you guys to see the colors of the Christmas tree or pretty much the theme, although I feel like the theme is going to be really hard for you guys to decipher. So that's why I'm live streaming me assembling part of the Christmas tree because I feel like this year's theme is a little bit wacky and crazy for you guys to just decipher within a couple of ornaments. But anyways, I did a live stream on Instagram about a few hours ago. In my opinion, it did not go well. It did not go well for a few reasons, which I don't want to talk about because why put that energy here on the internet? I've learned my lesson. But I am going to try to do this live stream here. I'm going to talk a little bit about my album, my new Christmas album, A Beautiful, Splendid, Expensive Christmas. Also, the second launch for my clothing brand, Koshka. I'm going to let you guys know just a little bit, or maybe I'll like reveal a few things from the next launch of my clothing brand. It's for the holiday collection, and this collection I'm actually really excited about. I'm not going to show you guys the pieces just yet. That video will be up either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure, but the second launch for my clothing brand is this Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm also going to assemble the tree, as I told you guys, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Christmas album because there's a few things I really want to talk about this Christmas album. I feel like I left you guys in secrecy for the whole like remainder of the Christmas album. Like I really didn't say much, and I didn't really announce this album until maybe 2 weeks before it came out. So this was like a really quick release, or so it seemed to be, because I've been planning this album for the past year. Like for the past year, I've been planning, conceptualizing, writing, recording, promoting, doing everything I can for this record for the past year. So it's definitely been a work in progress. I definitely worked on this record simultaneously while I worked on The Life of a Comedian. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So let's move on to the Christmas tree. So let me zoom in. As you can see, here is part of, well, here's the Christmas tree. It's pretty bare naked right now. There's like a few ornaments here. As you can see, you can only see this one right here, which if you've been on my channel for a year, you know her. And this one is actually the iconic ornament that takes place in my Christmas album cover. This is the ornament that pops up there. This is also the ornament that pops up in a lot of the merch for the Christmas collection, which I'm going to talk a little bit about the merch as well today too. So let me turn you guys around. Let me get on the floor on my knees. Not for the reason you guys might think, but for a different reason. So I'm gonna assemble some of these ornaments. I'm not gonna assemble all of them because I still don't have the lights. I still do have, well, you can't see me. Hi. I still do have the lights I used for last year's Christmas tree, but they're blue, and that was mainly because the theme was La Mer. If you were here last year, you would know. But the theme was La Mer, and that's not this year's theme. It's completely different, so I need completely different lights. The blue lights I'm going to be using for the other Christmas tree for my living room, and this year's theme is so big that I'm contemplating buying a second tree for this teeny tiny little bedroom. I know it's a really small bedroom. I barely have space for myself, and I'm just that stupid and crazy enough to buy myself a second Christmas tree. So, anyways, I have a box of ornaments in this Maneki Neko box that I'm gonna try to just assemble. This theme this year is so big that, hold on, let me like position this in like a way where I can just not have to hold the phone. Okay, as I was saying, this year's theme is so big that I literally, with tape, with like duct tape, I was mapping out where some of the ornaments were supposed to go and where some of the ornaments were gonna have to go. Like I literally like put tape all over the tree, like, okay, this section is for this part, this section is for that part, etc., etc. So I'm really going all out this year, and I'm starting early. Last year, I know I started decorating like full on balls deep decorating for Christmas. I think by Thanksgiving, and that was the old me. The new me celebrates Christmas on November 1st. But I've definitely been thinking a lot about. My lyrics are really good at this time. I really have been thinking of this time for so many months and planning everything. Now I'm just reciting my own lyrics, but it's true. Like I've literally been planning this for a long, long time. And now it just dawned on me that I have to do this. I'm going to like position the tree just so you guys can see it. There we go. Does not think like I just want you guys to like at least see the tree. But I'm going to assemble this and hopefully you guys don't see too many of the ornaments. Although like I said, you can't really tell the theme. But just looking at the ornaments. Here's the first one. Her name is Stacy. She has a rich husband. She shops at Bloomingdale's with her Stella McCartney purse, her Sandro skirt, and her Couples sweatshirt, and also her Louboutin heels. Yes, I built a whole story around here. You know what I really love right now? I'm loving like the rich women ornaments. I see them a lot at like Bloomingdale's and Neiman and Saks and Nordstrom. Barney's, rest in peace. Well, she's not gone just yet, but I used to see them at Barney's, and I'm definitely gonna buy them. Also, I know I'm supposed to talk about my album, but like Barney's, why, girl? Why? You should have tried harder, girl. Why? I'm actually really sad Barney's is leaving. Like, I've only ever shopped at Barney's twice in my life. Obviously, for obvious reasons, they're not Walmart and they're not Target. They're not just like somewhere you go every Wednesday to shop for something new. But I've only ever shopped at Barney's twice, and it's really sad that they're leaving. There's definitely a lot of things I'm gonna get before they leave because the sale is gonna be crazy when I get once it gets up. So this, by the way, where I'm placing them right now is not going to be their original place forever. Like this is just me mapping out sort of the boundaries of certain aspects of the tree. I feel like a crazy person talking about this as if I'm talking about a business deal right now. Oh my god. Here we go. So, A Beautiful, Splendid, Expensive Christmas is my new Christmas album. If you're new to the channel, and it is something that I've been working on for the past year. And I was actually at one point simultaneously working on this record and The Life of a Comedian. However, at one point I finished The Life of a Comedian. I started writing A Beautiful, Splendid, Expensive Christmas by May. However, I was conceptualizing it since December of last year. Like I knew for a fact from December of last year, like right like at the tip of the nose before Christmas came, I knew I'm writing a Christmas album next year. Like, I just knew it straight away, and it's something that I'm genuinely very, very proud of. It's something that I really just feel so creatively fulfilled with releasing. And obviously, I love The Life of a Comedian. It's probably one of my most honest bodies of work I've ever created. It's raw, it's honest, it's not pure, definitely not pure, but it's raw and it's honest and it's very loud, which is what my life was like as I was writing that record. And I will forever be proud of it and I will forever embrace it and love it. However, this Christmas album is something that I truly, truly am so proud of because I pretty much made, no, not pretty, this one, I pretty much made the most optimistic and most positive body of work I could ever make. And it's something that I never thought I would do. I never thought, well, I knew it was going to make Christmas, but I never thought I would have the capacity in me to create a very positive and optimistic body of work. Like, I just didn't think it was going to happen. But it did, and I'm so happy it did. And I'm just so proud of how it turned out. I'm so proud of the direction it took. I'm so proud of what I was able to make of a Christmas album because, you know, the goal for me this whole time was not to create a Christmas album that sounded like every other Christmas album. I wanted this Christmas album to sound like something that hasn't been done before in the holiday genre. And I feel like I accomplished that because this whole theme for the Christmas album is very disco influence, which is not something I planned. Like, I did not plan to make a Christmas album that was disco themed or disco influenced, but I like mid July, had writer's block, like really, really bad writer's block. And it really hit me hard to the point where I thought I wasn't gonna make it. Like, that's it. I'm not making a Christmas album. It's not happening. I'm not gonna do it. It's not coming out on time. Oh my God, I failed. I'm a flop. I mean, I'm a flop either way, but like I'm a flop at this. And then one night I started playing with GarageBand loops, and I started playing with these like with this like new pack of like loops that I got from like Apple, and I started playing with them, and they were very disco influenced, and I heard a kick drum and snare, and then I started adding more layers to it, and it just turned into one of the songs that's now in the record that's called Warmth of the Holiday Love, which is the one song that inspired everything. Like I had already written, I think maybe like 12 songs for the record. Obviously, not all of them made it. Like there's only 10, but I rearranged them, I redid them, and I completely scrapped them and turned them into something different. Like one song on the album called Christmas in LA was gonna be something completely different than to what it is right now. Maybe one day I'll put the demo of Christmas in LA. Maybe like in December, I'll put the demo for it. But Christmas in LA is so completely different than from what I first originally thought it was gonna be. Even the lyrics changed. Also, the first song on the album, It's Finally Here, again, something completely different. Like, It's Finally Here was originally going to be just me and the piano. Like, that's the real T girl. Like, that song, I should be arranging the Christmas tree, but that song was originally just going to be me and the piano, but like a really upbeat and like happy piano. And I was okay with that, and I was going to be satisfied with that. But I don't know, I just felt like it needed something more. Like when you're gonna listen to a Christmas album from start to finish, like you want that initial song to be like, oh, wow, like Mariah Carey's Christmas album. Like she starts with "All I Want for Christmas," and it's like, oh, wow, that's a start to an album. That's when you know it's gonna be a feel-good Christmas album. And I didn't know if making it with a should I put this ornament on the tree? I don't know. You guys can't see it. It's I'm just gonna tell you the description. It's oh, you know what? Let me turn on the color. Hold on. Give me one moment. There we go. We're back to color. Should I put this one here? I'm not sure. Let me know. What do you think? This is a pretty color for an ornament. And now we're going back to um, but yeah. I wanted that initial like wow in the Christmas album, and I think I accomplished that with this one. And also, which other song? Um, which other one? I forgot which other one. Oh yeah, the first song I wrote for the album was "Alone at Christmas." That was the first song I wrote for the album, like entirely. Like that was the first song I wrote, and that song I wrote inspired by how some people spend Christmas. I know that there is people who have very little family, and there's some people who don't really have any family at all. The people that come to mind when I wrote Alone at Christmas was like elderly people, people who are in their 80s and their 70s who probably don't really have much of their family with them anymore, and they spend Christmas alone. And I wanted to write a song about that, but I wanted it to be in a positive light, and I wanted it to be something joyous instead of something, depressing. And I really wanted to send a message that it doesn't matter who you spend Christmas with or if you spend Christmas alone. It matters what you make of that time. It matters what are able to do with, this beautiful time of the year, because it is such a beautiful time of the year, and obviously it's not the same for everybody. And I wanted to write a song about, what it's like to spend it alone, and how you pretty much make lemons out of lemonade out of that situation. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I genuinely am really happy with how it turned out, and I love it. It's the first song I wrote, and I knew from the very beginning that it was going to stay on the record. Like I just knew. I don't care what direction this album takes. I'm keeping this song on the record because it's so beautiful to me. And also, another song that I'm genuinely very proud of is the song following Alone at Christmas, which is called Miracle in Downtown. And I kind of wrote that about an issue that's very prevalent here in Los Angeles. I don't know if any of you are from here, but the issue of homelessness and people who live on the streets is a really big and prevalent issue here that doesn't seem to be resolved anytime soon. And I don't really like to get political on my channel at all. That's just not me. I keep my politics to myself like a good little girl. But um, I just think it's an issue that doesn't seem to be resolved anytime soon. And I know that there's a lot of people who live on the streets. There's been times in the past where there's people outside of my house who literally base camp like outside of my house, and it's not a good thing. And people are obviously homeless for various different reasons. You know, some a lot more worse than others, and everybody has their issues. But I know that sometimes there's families who are kicked out of their homes or their apartments, and they just can't afford to live here, and that's just the reality. It's expensive to live here, and I'm saying that as somebody who's lived here my whole life. Like, I was born and raised here, and it's expensive to live here, and it's not for everyone. And some people, and obviously, no, it's not that you got yourself into the situation, but it's just that um, prices have raised. The rent is super high here. As I've started looking for a house of my own, I've learned that rent is really expensive here, and that it is really tough to live here on just a minimum wage budget or on any small type of budget. You really need a six-figure, you know, annual income to live here. And I wanted to write a song, and I wanted to make a story about a man who has pretty much lost faith and lost hope that anybody will help him, that anybody will really listen to him, or that anything good will happen in his life. Like, he's lost hope in all of those things, and right now he's at a point where he just doesn't know what to do. And I wanted to write a story about how he's lost track of time. He doesn't know what day it is, and then one day it happens to be Christmas, and usually people in Christmas, I've gone out of my house on Christmas Day, and people are just nice. They're nice, they're warm, everybody just, it's like world peace in your surroundings when it's Christmas Day. Like, nobody's mean, nobody's rude, everyone's really nice to each other, everyone says nice things about each other, even if, you don't know them. And I wanted to write a song that talks about, people being nice to him all of a sudden because it is Christmas, and people wanting to help out, people acknowledging his existence and embracing him as a human being. And obviously, the story of this song has a happy ending. Unfortunately, it's not, you know, realistic. There isn't really a happy ending for everyone who lives in homelessness on the streets, but it can be. It can be. Um, Also, oh, this one is really heavy. Okay. I think I'm gonna end it there because I don't want to put a lot before putting the lights. This one's really pretty. You can't see it. Yeah, this theme this year is gonna be crazy, and it's really pretty. But anyways, I'm gonna move this to the side again. I'm gonna try to get back up. My foot's asleep, so I'm gonna crawl to my bed as we continue to talk. Excuse me. Okay, so we're back here. I'm gonna turn the color on. Okay, we turned the color on. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so that Miracle in Downtown, a really beautiful song, and just the whole album in general is really just, I think it's just something I'm really proud of. Usually when I release music, I typically don't listen to it after I release it, not for any reason, but just mainly because I feel weird listening to my own music. I just feel like it's a bit narcissistic, but this album, I generally have been listening to it along with my other Christmas albums that I own, and I love it. Like, I love it. And it's really beautiful, and it's something I'm genuinely really proud of, and I want so many people to listen to it. I want the whole world to listen to this Christmas album. I want people to come back to it every single year. That's how genuinely proud I am of it. And the last song the last song on the record is called, well, by the way, I'm being very quiet because everyone's asleep and I don't want to wake anybody up, but the last song on the record is called Wool Blanket, and it's a song that I knew I wanted to make. Like, I knew I wanted to make a song called Wool Blanket. It was one of the notes I wrote down in my ideas when I was conceptualizing this record. And this song turned into something that was really tough for me to do. Like, I physically can't sing this song without crying because it's so beautiful and it's so pure and it's just such a warm feeling. I wanted this song to have a warm feeling, and I wanted it to feel like you are wrapped in a wool blanket, to feel like you are wrapped in like a cozy fleece wool blanket that just keeps you warm at night. I wanted that cozy Christmas feeling. Like, I wanted you to feel like, somebody, like, I wanted you to feel like a loved one comes up to you, wraps you in a blanket, and like in an open fire outside, and you're cooking s'mores with hot chocolate and your Christmas hat on, and you have, I'm starting to get emotional, and you have, your windows open and you can see your Christmas tree from a distance, and it's just so warm and crisp and nice. Like, I wanted that feeling encapsulated in a song, and I feel like I was able to accomplish it. But at the same time, it was really tough for me to record and even write that song. Like, at every single line I was writing, I kept crying because it was just so pure and so sweet. It was probably one of like the most purest songs I've ever written. It's so pure and it's so just innocent. That's the word I was looking for. It's the most innocent song I've ever written. And the funny thing is, I don't really relate to it. Like, I just don't. I just don't relate to it. I don't live far from my family. I don't live, a state away. I don't live, in a different city. Like, we all live in the same city. um, but I really wanted to write a song for those who, live, in different states or even different countries or different cities and travel back home to their family, and they find that everything is the same, and they feel content and they feel happy that even in the rush of their lives, they can always rely on one time of the year to come back to where they came from, and for everything to be the same and for everything to hopefully be great. And I feel like I accomplished that with this song. And I'm just so proud of this album. And if you haven't listened to this album, I think the link is in the description. And if it isn't, I will add it later. But I'm just so proud of it. And I'm just so happy. And it's just such a wonderful time right now. And I'm just generally just so happy. I'm just so happy right now because it's such a good time. And now it's the time to talk about the clothing line. I don't know. I didn't think of a good segue for that. But my clothing brand, Koshka by Emmy's the Cat, is having its second big launch this Friday at noon Pacific Standard Time. And I feel like I should just mention the theme here. I feel like I should. So I'm going to tell you guys the title of the theme for the clothing line launch this Friday. So, the theme for Christmas for Koshka is Koshka and the Birds' Beautiful Christmas. That is all I'm gonna say. That is all I'm gonna say about the clothing line. That is all I'm gonna talk about. All I'm gonna say is that this theme for holiday is crazy. It's so much more different than my Christmas album theme or the theme I did for my merch shop. It's so different. It's so crazy. And I am just so happy with how it turned out. And I'm just so genuinely proud of it. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. I think the video will go live either on Thursday or Wednesday. I'm not sure just yet. But either one of those days, there will be a reveal video showing everything. And with that being said, I also want to say that for my merch shop, there is going to be things that are going to be coming out as the days go by. Once December 1st comes out, I might release 2 or more pieces. Same for my clothing line. There will be a few more pieces coming out, as time goes by and by December. And also, I do want to let you guys know of Teespring's shipping policy during the holidays, because if you don't know, both my clothing brand and my merch shop are sold exclusively through Teespring. And I do want to let you guys know that if you do want to get anything from either my merch shop or the Koshka brand, the cutoff date in order for you to be able to guaranteed get your items by Christmas is December 11th, and that is for standard shipping. There is a few things on the clothing brand on Koshka that you can get with express shipping. However, since I do work with high quality materials for the clothing brand, it's a bit tough to make things quick. So the cutoff date for a lot of the pieces is December 11th. However, for anything that you can get your hands on with express shipping, the cutoff date is December 22. That is for my merch shop. The cutoff date with express shipping is December 22. For standard shipping, it's December 11th. Just in case you do want to get something for Christmas for somebody or for yourself to wear during the holidays, be my guest. Cutoff date December 11th. After that, there's no guarantee they'll come by Christmas. Anyways, I've talked for 25 minutes. I don't know how I did that. My throat is like drying. I'm gonna go now. Thanks to anybody who came to the live stream, and thanks for watching later on. And if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and comment down below your thoughts. Give me your suggestions or your clues as to what you think the theme for the Christmas tree is, and you can kind of see there. And as well, subscribe because the best gonna be themselves. Help us out. I will leave all of the links down below, and I will see you tomorrow.